I feed the cats and I turn on my radio. I love my radio. I get up and I make my breakfast, and then I have a wonderful juicer over there and a blender. I'm an avid juicer. So I open the window there so the cats can sit in the window. There's more structure in my life. I feel more structured that I have to get up and I have to do things to keep myself busy. Whereas before I didn't feel like the need to as much. Now I feel like I have to keep myself mentally well. It's changed a lot. There's no physical contact, so we're Zooming everything. I Zoom my psychotherapist, I Zoom my doctor, I Zoom my acting workshop, I Zoom my Dharma friends, I do Zoom with some Workman Arts members. A different form of media for me, and working with social media in a different way, which is really eye-opening for me, really eye-opening. Well, this medication I'm on is not good. It's really hard on me. Even though I look better, it's really hard on my brain and my cognition and my ability to speak properly. I have head pain, and my side of my face here is drooping down. And it's not okay. It's like these injections are wrong, and I think I'd take the medication on my own without an injection. It's been really hard on me with this medication. It changes in my artistic input. I'm drawing more and I'm reading books. I'm doing yoga and I'm meditating a bit more, but it's hard for me to sit still on this medication. I try to be creative as much as I can, but the medication does impinge on that, and it impinges on my human rights and my ability to perform well. The radio is a source of inspiration. My juicing, I've become a mad juicer. I listen to everything. CBC Radio 1, Radio 2, The Strongbow Show. I've learned to become a better actor on my Zooming with what professional acting class I'm taking. Oh, hi. You didn't recognize me. That's okay. I'm totally forgettable. Okay, so what do you want? Oh yes, that one guy. He was a god. What was his name? He was in my books. The butcher's son. You know, your mother must be really proud of you. Yeah, they didn't really say that. That's what I heard, you know. And that's been really eye-opening. You know, having faith in my healing wall that I made here. Ta-da! My healing wall. I made this wall representing my mental health and my spiritual journey as a woman. I'm doing better drawings. I have my book here that I do all sorts of drawings in. This is my COVID-19 drawing, Rinpoche drawings. I have little things like that. This one is a good fun one. I think that people are going to be closer with each other. They've learned to be self-sustaining and self-sufficient. It's created more resilience, more solitude. Solitude, brother, and gotten to know my mind in a deeper way. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Getting to like you and hope you like me. Tweedledee. How do you stay resilient in these tough times? Being there and being there present for each other. Just dealing with their mental health the best we can without hurting each other. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game, man. Having these books. Tons of books to read that I've been reading and educating myself. So that's been really good. Fighting for mental health.
What is an introduction you would like to begin with? I would like to begin my introduction on a positive note. I believe that any crisis, whether good or bad, is influenced by a higher power.
The world is governed by karmic influences that provide us with an opportunity to accumulate knowledge throughout individual lived experiences.
I believe that any artist should listen to their inner calling, nature or natural voice,
before being engaged in any art practice or projects.
On the other hand, I have hope that our strong city of Toronto has the potential to support many artists and to respond to this crisis with creativity. Thus, I prefer to create art by utilizing the techniques I think work best for me. Before the lockdown, my normal daily routine was very unpredictable and spontaneous. That kind of daily routine never allowed me enough time looking after my personal, spiritual, and emotional growth or needs. I miss how I was very happy with being able to go to the gym,
I also miss being able to participate in art vending opportunities that I can never take for granted as well. My normal daily routine has been affected by the lockdown in many positive ways, as it is an opportunity to be self-caring and do more creative pursuits. For example, I now have extra me times to hopefully learn how to organize, tidy, and declutter my belongings. It is also a blessing to witness how our environment is becoming less polluted. This helps me be less anxious and instead happier for our planet. As for my art practice, I now realize that quantity is not as important as quality. I was selling my art at suitable social events, but all such places where I was able to sell my art are now closed. The things that keep me going during this experience are especially my passion, strong faith, and trust that my art is my dear friend and everlasting companion, along with the fact that art often protects me from feeling lonely or isolated. But it is also my healer during critical times and can be a compensation for almost any loss I may suffer from. Aside from this, I love looking after my health by selecting healthy food options to protect my immunity during this crisis, and by watching inspiring things on YouTube, such as documentary films, Arabic news, and Syrian television series. After all, I like to think positive that traveling abroad and all around the world will be safe once again in the nearest future. I also prefer to have hopes that one day humans will learn from the great lessons taught by the current coronavirus epidemic and can have the ability to still save the Earth's environment and its animal species without just relying on this epidemic to do so on our behalf. I have found new sources of artistic inspiration during the lockdown period. One being to enjoy filtering information I read by expressing it as poetically or artistically as possible. I believe we all need to stop and think. Is it really worth it for us to meet again? And why? What are the values that will be of benefit to us if we do so? As I previously mentioned, I believe before the quarantine, our society was going through a very fast and vicious cycle that was jeopardizing the health and safety of our planet. I will miss being able to be laid back, and the fact that I appreciate slowing down and resting. I don't like so much moving around like a grasshopper when we can work just fine from home. To conclude, many of us, including myself, carry many unsolved mental or psychological complications and incomplete art projects. Therefore, oftentimes, even when we were together, it felt that we were apart. And this will act as an obstacle to us when working together or when needing each other's support to complete unfinished art projects.
Hello, my name's Emily Sweet. On Instagram, it's at Emily Sweet Art. A little bit about me: I am an artist that is studying to be a teacher at York University. I made this little video to show you guys all the different things that I'm doing during this quarantine, and thanks to this class that I'm taking through Workman Art, it's been a great way for me to cope with COVID because I don't have a lot of outside contact with the world, so to have something to do and people to talk to has been very helpful. My regular routine consists of making myself a healthy breakfast, usually eggs or some sort of smoothie. I usually drink or eat my food while I'm doing other household chores like feeding my rabbit or taking my little pooch out in the morning. Unfortunately, my school is a 2-hour drive away. I'm studying to be a teacher. I often run late in the morning because I'm not very good with mornings and I have so much to do. Coffee is my savior, and I have made this cup at one of those Color Me Mine places. While I'm a lot lazier, I've been sleeping in more, and I've been doing a lot more work at night and sleeping in the morning, which is actually kind of my preferred way to work. By work, I mean housework and schoolwork. My school went online as soon as the pandemic hit, which was great for me. No more commute. At the beginning of April, my boyfriend and I moved to this farm, so it's been great to have some places outdoors to walk and explore. The pandemic has given me time to do a lot of the hobbies that I don't usually have time for, including gardening. I upcycled these window bird feeders into a fresh herb garden. I've also had more time to longboard. My creative process has changed a lot for me as an artist. I've been crocheting a lot lately, which I usually don't have a lot of time for, so it's been really nice to try different things without worrying too much about a time constraint or getting it done quickly. Unfortunately, I'm all out of yarn. I've also been making these time-consuming helmets. I think if anything, quarantine has shown me that I need to take more time for myself. I really don't spend enough time doing things that I love. I spend too much time worrying about school. I've had so much time to do art, and therefore my output has skyrocketed since COVID started. During this quarantine, I've received a lot of new inspiration. Usually I am inspired by the world around me, but with my busy schedule, I often don't have time to stop and smell the roses, so to speak. So being able to stop and reflect and slow my schedule has allowed me to wander and play and explore, which has really opened my eyes to new ideas. One example of strength that I've shown through this difficult time of quarantine is being able to go longboarding with my dog to a new park all by myself. Sometimes that makes me nervous to go to a new place by myself, so it was really a big accomplishment for me to overcome my anxiety and to go, even though I was really nervous. The new ideas that have struck me since COVID include my helmet, the herb garden, and all the wonderful crocheted stuff that I showed you earlier. Making art has helped me cope with quarantine, as have my lovely pets, Kobe the dog and Avery the rabbit. They also seem to rely on each other for strength during this difficult time. The isolation has been hard for me since I haven't been able to see any of my friends and my boyfriend works full time, but it's also been nice to spend more time by myself. Perspective is key for survival.
Hi, my name is Susan Lieberman. I still go for my 30-minute walk every morning. This helps me with dealing with things. I enjoy the fresh air. It motivates me, and it really is good for me. I come to this pond and I look at the birds, I look at the water, and it's really, really beautiful. After I do my 30-minute walk, I usually go home, shower, and I start my day. The effects of the lockdown has affected me in many ways. One way is isolation. I'm not able to see my family or friends during these difficult times. I have to still put food on the table and pay my rent, which has been very difficult. On a personal note, I cannot get my hair cut because places are closed. This has affected me and many others in many, many ways. Not being able to see people has been dramatically difficult for me. Strength for me during these difficult times would be just accepting things the way they are and just being positive. I think the real change for me artistically as an artist would be using Zoom and using technology. I've used it many, many times, and I find connecting with friends and family, I'm really enjoying it. I'm learning to do things on my own independently, like I said before. I stay at home more. Unfortunately, I cannot go to film class, which is a disappointment. And I'm just trying to accept this the way it is and just go with the flow and see how things go for everyone in the future. After this is over, I will not take things for granted. I will appreciate the hard work we all did in the film class, using technology and connecting with one another. And I will also remember that we're all in this together. All have to hang in there and just support each other. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gerald McKenzie, and I am a participant in the Workman Arts film class. Done a bit of directing for films both inside and outside Workman Arts, short films, and storyboards. What was your normal daily routine before the lockdown? Well, the truth is I mostly slept all day. And then I was up at night on my computer or watching movies on television.
Thank you very much, Mr. Priceless. Not at all.
Usted dice cómo y cuándo.
I have a problem where I tend to isolate, so the lockdown hasn't changed very much for me because I only go out to get things to eat, or sometimes I go out with a friend of mine to sit outside, which is pretty cool. When I go outside and sit out with my friend, I tend not to feel as oppressed. That makes me feel better, so I'm sure that contributes to my ability to create. It's something that is relatively rare these days that you get to go out and sit outside. Well, I find sleeping brings me a great deal of comfort. It just makes me feel better, especially when I find things hard to face. I like to eat, particularly chocolate. Chocolate helps me get through a lot of hard times. Watching films too. I enjoy watching films very much, especially very obscure ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that's what gets me through this experience. Plus, I talk with my mother every day, which is good because it gives me somebody to talk to. I used to go to the Workman Arts classes every Tuesday before the lockdown, and I enjoyed that because it gave me something to do and something to focus around. But I don't have that anymore except for the conversation, so talking with people is a good way to keep me grounded. I consider myself to be a bit of a reluctant artist because I want to be creative, but I have to be pushed into it. Sometimes people have to nag me into it. For example, the storyboards I was doing for the Persistence story, it's an animated film about a penguin that wants to escape the cold of the Antarctic. I pretty much dragged my feet for the better part of the week. Did at the most a couple pages a day starting last Saturday, and so I kind of had to force myself to do it, and in bits and pieces. So that's sort of the way I tend to work, is in bits and pieces and when I am running out of time, because that seems to give me the impetus to do the work. I think I'll be happier to see the people than I probably was seeing people before. Sometimes I have a difficult time facing people. This experience of being away from people, I think, helps make me appreciate the presence of others a little more.